Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing part 2 of our video series doing a crochet kit that I got from Five Below. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, we are continuing part 2 of the video series. We are doing The Nightmare Before Christmas and making Jack Skellington. So in part 1 we did the head, which came out really cute, and so now we're going to continue with the hands. Okay, so we're going to go straight away into this. If you do not know already, this video is only a supplement to the kit. If you'd like to make Jack Skellington, I highly recommend that you get the kit at your Five Below. I will go over new stitches 3 times step by step, and then I'll explain how to read the instructions, and then anything else that may be a little tricky to understand sometimes, and then of course we're going to do the assembly together. Due to copyright reasons, I can't share any detailed information about the instructions. Viewers as well, just to protect yourselves from copyright, don't share any information on it as well. Okay, anyway, I am trying to get my black yarn ready. I did move things around my desk, so now it's just a little different, but we're going to start this right away. And and we're using white. Geez, I'm already not doing this right. Okay, so I have my white here. Slip this on. I put this little cylinder in the middle. It's kind of heavy. That way it will stabilize a little bit, at least, your yarns so that they're not moving all over the place. So let's get into this. We're going to do the magic ring. If you need to speed up or slow down the video, go ahead and click on the gear button in the corner. There's playback options to go fast or slow. If you don't need to hear me talking, you can lower the volume on your device and then click on the CC closed caption button. Alright, magic ring. What you want to do is take your white yarn, and we're going to wrap this around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so that we can put our middle finger right on there. Then we can take this time to straighten out our strands. If they're really loose, you can tighten them up a little bit, but I'm going to grab my crochet hook and we're going to slip it underneath the 3 strands like that. So now we're going to pull this back out, but we're going to take this strand and pull it underneath these 2. So hook that strand and then twist your hook sideways so that you can slip it underneath the other 2 strands. So you have something like this. Then we're going to yarn over, which is taking the feeder yarn and putting it over the hook. We're going to pull the strand through the loop like that. So now you can let go of your middle finger and you can slip this off your index. Okay, so now we're going to hold it something like this. Excess piece out here, 2 rings in the middle, feeder yarn on the left. Let's gather up some yarn here. So for the first round, we have our single crochet stitches. It tells you how much you have to make. I'm going to go show you how to do 3 of them step by step. So underhand your hook here. We're going to put our hook through these 2 rings, and then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull up a loop, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So here we have our single crochet stitch. If we look on top, we have a loop on this side, a loop on that side. If we look at it at the front, we have a loop in the front, a loop in the back. All right, let's do another one. Stick your hook into the rings here. I'm just trying to separate this from the rings. Okay, put your hook into the rings. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. Then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. So again, looking at it from the top, you can see there's a braid forming. We have a loop on this side and a loop on this side. You look at it at front wise, we have a loop in the front and a loop in the back. All right, let's do this one more time. Okay, stick your hook into the rings, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So one last time, let's look at the top. We have our little braid here, and they're made up of 2 loops, a loop on this side, a loop on that side. If we look at it from the front, we have a loop in the front, a loop in the back. All right, so you can rewind this part as many times as you need until you're confident doing single crochet stitches on your own. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of the single crochet stitches required for this round, and then we're going to move on to the next round, or the next steps. Okay, so once we have completed all the single crochet stitches, we're then going to take our right hand and we're going to overhand the hook. Okay, I'm going to remove this off my finger too. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take our thumb and index and we're just going to hold the bottom part of the stitches. So just hold it down here. Don't hold it too tight, just, you know, make it stable. Then you're going to take the feeder yarn and you can just hold it with your middle finger out of the way. But now we're going to deal with this excess piece here. So what we need to do is make these 2 rings disappear. To do that, we're going to pull on this excess piece and you're going to watch to see which loop goes inside first. So when you pull this very slowly, once you've identified which loop it is, stop pulling. All right, so this one is moving. So what you're going to do now is you're going to pull this side of that loop out. Don't move that side, just this one. So take the loop that moved and you're going to pull that side out, and you're going to see this other loop is going to disappear into that magic ring. Pull it till all of it is completely gone. Okay, then what we're going to do is hide this loop. So you want to take this piece and start pulling on that until that loop is gone entirely. Then what we're going to do, because there's always just a little bit more left you can pull, is you pull in this opposite direction and a little up and just pull slightly, and you're going to feel a little give, and that's going to really make sure that there's no hole in the middle. So what doesn't come in this kit that I explained in the last video is that you need to get these stitch markers. They sell them in packs at a hobby store or online. I've collected these from the kits that did have them, so it's very useful. It's going to help you keep track of your rounds as well as keep track of your stitch count. So what I'm going to do is take one of these, and what we're going to do is slip them right underneath the last stitch we made. So as I explained earlier, you want to stick these all underneath that braid, front loop and back loop. So slip this under the front loop and the back loop, and you want to make sure that you clear the yarn. See how I pierced something in here? I have to redo that. So front loop, back loop, pull it to make sure you're not splitting any yarn. And this is so that when you stick your hook in, you're putting your hook in a nice clean space and you're not piercing the yarn either with a hook. And we're going to move on to round 2. Okay. So for round 2, this is actually, we're going to do 2 rows. This is for round 2, and then I can get this out for round 3. So this is to help keep track. Now this should be easy because it's only 2 rows, but in some of the projects, especially this one, as we get further into it, it's going to be multiple rows. So it's not going to be as easy as counting 1, 2. So for round 2 and 3, we're just doing single crochet stitches all around. I'm going to show you how to do 3 of those on regular stitches because I showed you how to do those through a magic ring. So this is a new instance. So what you want to do is count the number of stitches back from the hook that was required in round 1. So you can start with the stitch marker, count your way back, and then we're going to stick our hook into the last stitch of that count. Okay, and that's where we're going to start our single crochet stitch. So let's do a single crochet stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So that's pretty much it. It's the same thing except we're just putting it in a stitch now as opposed to a ring. So in the next stitch, put in your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. One more time, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So we have 3 single crochet stitches. I'm just going to go ahead now and I'm going to complete round 2 and round 3, and then we're going to before I complete the last stitch for round 3, I'm going to stop and I'm going to show you how to transition to black. Okay, again, so let's do the next 2 rounds, but don't do the last stitch on the 3rd round. And I hope I don't forget that myself because I always forget. Maybe 95%. Okay, just slip your stitch marker under the last stitch we made for round 3. And we're just going to keep going. I don't know if I grabbed both the front and back loop on this. Okay. Yeah, make sure you clear the front and back loop. You don't want to accidentally split the yarn. So if you see your project is now getting a little difficult because it's curling inward, and that is natural. After I do this round though, I'm just going to flip this inside out so that the right side is facing out. Okay, again, we're going to stop before doing the last stitch for the 3rd round. Okay. Before I flip this inside out, we have one more stitch to do. I'm not going to do that yet. What I'm going to do is take my crochet hook and I'm going to pull this out, this loop, as much as I can. This is going to keep you from accidentally losing your stitch. So from here, what we're going to do is flip this inside out. You can remove this blue one for now because we completed that section. Okay, so we're just going to push this inside, this center inside, and flip the edges outward. So we're just inverting this so that the right side shows. You can tell because the excess piece from the magic ring needs to hide. It can't be sticking out from the hand because that's the wrong side. Alright, so once you get that in there, I'm going to set this aside for now because I have to show you how to do the black transition. Okay, so grab your black yarn here. I'm going to show you how to cast on using a slip knot. So you want to take your ring, pinky, and thumb and hold one end of the yarn, and then take your index and middle finger and hold the end like that. Okay. Then we're going to take our crochet hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn. Then we're going to go down, out, and around to create this loop around your hook. You can slide this up and down. You want to slide it down towards your thumb and then take your middle finger and just hold it where it crosses. so that you can let go of your left. Then we're going to gather up some feeder yarn, and you're going to repinch the end here as low as you can go on here without losing it. Then we're going to slide our hook closer to the thumb again, and where it crosses we're going to pinch it so we can no longer slide this up and down. Alright, so now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to pull this strand through the loop, and then I'm going to overhand my hook here like that, and I'm going to repinch my end, and I'm going to push this knot towards the thumb. So just keep pushing this knot towards your thumb until you can't push it any longer. Then you're going to take your thumb and middle finger and just pull this a little out, okay, just to make that nice and snug. And then we're going to slide this knot towards the hook like that. So now we can take this loop and slip it right off. Set this aside, don't mess with it. Take your project again. We're going to go put our hook back into that large loop and then pull on this feeder yarn to shorten that loop up. Alright, so now what we're going to do is complete our last stitch for round 3. Stick your hook into the last stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we're going to let go of the feeder yarn. You're going to hold this back with your ring finger. Set that aside. Take this guy here, slip that on. Get some feeder yarn, and you're going to slip this through the loop like that. And then you can tighten this up a little bit. We're not going to be using the white anymore, so I'm going to cut about 1 inch or so. I'm going to tie this. Let's see, let's remove this guy here. I'm actually going to tie this to the white. So 2 times. Tie your knot. Don't tie it too tight. You just want to secure the yarn, and then we're going to stick this back in for good. Okay. All right. Gather up some feeder yarn so that we can start the next round, but what I'm going to do also is take this marker and slip it underneath the last stitch we made. Make sure you clear it. You can close this up. All right. So now we're going to do 4 through 8. This is going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so we're doing single crochet stitches. It's fairly simple. I'm gonna stop at the end of it so I can show you the next steps, but I'm gonna do this part in silence. Okay, I completed rounds 4 through 8, and the next steps kind of confused me a little bit. I realized I put this stitch marker here. We don't need it. We're pretty much done. So what they want you to do is fold it. In other words, they just want you to squish it. I was like, fold? Like the hand? This is the arm. I don't know. I'm very literal in, you know, kind of reading things. But anyway. So we're just going to line up the stitches here, and we're going to do 4 of them, because use 4 of the stitches from that arm, because we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. So it says fold the hand and make 2 single crochet stitches to both sides of it. And I am going a little descriptive just because this was really complicated for me. But click that like button if it didn't confuse you. Or click it if it did. Alright, so what we're going to do, I flatten this. I'm going to stick my hook into the next stitch. And then right across the way, I'm going to stick my hook into the stitch right across from it. Like that. Okay? And we're going to do our single crochet stitch. And then we're going to go into the next stitch here. And stick it in the next stitch across the way. Okay, and then we're going to do our second single crochet stitch. So that's that. And I guess that works because we can sew this onto the body, and we don't have to worry about sewing around. Normally I try sewing around the arm to keep its round shape, but this just decided to flatten it out, which will probably help keep the arms down better. So we're going to fasten this off now. So we want to make sure that we have enough of this yarn to sew onto the body. So what I like to do, this is pretty flat. I'm going to go back and forth with the yarn 4 times to assume the length that I need to sew the arm. It's like more than enough, but I want to make sure that I have that. And then we're going to yarn over and pull through the loop all the way out like that. So that's how you fasten off. These instructions say fix and cut the yarn. It's called fasten off in almost it's universal, so most kits will have fasten off, F-A-S-T-E-N off, because I don't say fasten. Who says fasten? I don't know. Fasten off. Anyway, so we have one hand, and I did go off camera like I said I would to do the second hand. So we have this ready to go. But we're going to move on. You can pause the video here. I'm going to move on to the legs. Okay, so let's do that. I'm just going to gather up some yarn here. Now we're going to work with the black, and again we're going to do the magic ring. So it's a good thing that we saw the hands with the white, because that was clear to see. This now is going to get difficult to see. So I have had comments in a previous Jack Skellington from a book, and they all say the same thing. It's really hard to see, and that's just how he looks though. So it's a good thing we saw how to do the hands, because that was in white. I'm going to do the same thing to do the black. So you can rewind to the beginning, so you can do the legs. But if not, just bear with me and try to either focus on your project or try to look harder on this video. Alright, so we're going to take the black yarn, and again we're going to wrap it around our finger 3 times with a little bit of overage so that we can put our middle finger on here. Take this opportunity to adjust your strands, either loosen it up or tighten it up, make it straight. I'm going to stick this hook underneath the 3 strands, and then I'm going to pull it back out. I'm going to drag this strand underneath these 2. So hook that strand, turn your hook sideways so that you can slip it underneath the 2 strands here, like that. Then we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop like that. So now you can let go of your middle finger and you can slip off the rings off your index. So hold it like this. The excess piece will go to the right, the loops in the middle, and then feeder yarn to the left. So let's gather up some yarn here. Now we're going to do the single crochet stitches required for round 1. So let's do that now. Alright, then we're going to overhand the hook, and again we're going to hold on to the bottom stitches here, not too tight. I'm going to take the feeder yarn and just hold it back with my middle finger, and we're going to see which one of these 2 loops moves first by pulling on this excess piece. So let's do that now. Pull it gently and watch to see which one goes inside first. So we see that this one here is going in. We want to pull this side out, not that side, just this side. So get in there, pull that end out. Make sure that you're not gripping too tight with this. You want to be a little loose so that you're able to pull through this loop, and then you're going to see this other one disappear. Ta-da! Then I'm going to take this excess piece and pull this to make this loop disappear. Abracadabra. Then what we're going to do is pull in the opposite direction and a little up, and you're going to feel a little give to it, and that's going to make sure that the hole is completely closed. So now what you want to do is take your stitch marker and mark the last stitch that you made under the braid. Make sure it's clear. Close this up, and then we're good to do round 2. Alright, let me gather up some yarn here. Okay, so for round 2 we have a different look to these instructions. You're going to see parentheses. Okay, so the parentheses means that we're going to concentrate on the instructions inside the parentheses. Okay, it's like a math problem. So once you see the parentheses, you're going to see like an X or an asterisk and a number, or vice versa, a number and an X. Some instructions are different, but what that means is you're going to repeat that parenthesis X amount of times that the instruction says, and then at the end of that instruction there's another set of parentheses with a number inside. That's the number of stitches that you will end up with. So once you're all done with that round, I recommend this to every beginner, is to just go back and count your stitches to make sure you have the exact number that is at the end of that round. Okay, so now let's focus inside the first parenthesis. We're introducing a new type of stitch. It's called the increasing stitch, INC, and then we have to do our single crochet stitches. So let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. So an increasing stitch is basically doing 2 single crochet stitches in 1 stitch. So what you want to do is count back from the stitch marker the number of stitches required for round 1. Stick your hook into that last stitch from that round, and then, like I said, in this stitch we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. So to do that, yarn over, pull up a loop, then we're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through those 2 loops. Stick your hook into that same stitch we just used, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So this might be difficult to see, but we did 1 stitch, and out from it are 2 single crochet stitches, and that's an increasing stitch. I'll show you how to do that 2 more times, but let's do our single crochet stitch, and then we're gonna repeat this X amount of times that the instruction tells you to. So let me go and show you how to do an increasing stitch. Into the next stitch, put your hook. We're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Stick your hook into that same stitch we just used. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So from that one stitch we have 2 single crochet stitches. Alright, so I'm going to end up showing you this one more time. So into the next stitch here, we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Into that same stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And then you can finish off this round. I'm going to go ahead and take the marker out and slip it under the last stitch we made. And then we're going to move on to round 3. And actually it's round 3 through 7. So if this is round 3, round 4, 5, 6, 7. So same number of stitch markers for this set, and we're pretty much doing single crochet stitches, so there's not much difficulty in that, hopefully. But I'm gonna go ahead and do round 3 through 7 in silence, and then I'm going to show you what to do next. Alright, so I've completed the leg. Now, on your end, don't do anything else. This is my second one because I did the first one off camera. Again, don't do anything. I'm just going to remove this off here because I have my leg here. Alright, so the next steps for leg 1 is we have to do a slip stitch. So what you want to do is put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull through every loop off your hook. That is a slip stitch. Okay? And then what we're going to do is you're going to make pretend this is still attached to your yarn. You're going to take a scissor and cut about 1 inch or so. And then what we're going to do next is yarn over and pull this through the loop all the way out like we did with the hand, and pull this tight. And you can remove this marker actually. And then we're done with the first foot. I'm kind of surprised that it didn't tell you to stuff it yet, but maybe it'll tell you to stuff it later. We'll see. Alright, set this aside. You can pause this video here and rewind it back to the beginning so that you can knit your second leg. So pause it now because I'm going to move on, making pretend, poof, we have the second leg. Alright, so for the second leg, we have to do more single crochet stitches. Odd. So let's do that now. Do the extra single crochet stitches they tell you to do. And then it says we're going to continue on to the body. So put that down. I'm going to go get my instruction for the body. Okay. Now moving on to the body. What we're going to do now, they want you to do 3 chains. So let me actually teach you one of the ultimate basic stitch in crocheting, which is the chain stitch. And they want you to do 3, so this works out. I'm going to show you how to do this 3 times. So, okay, you want to yarn over and pull through the loop, and that's a chain. That's it. Simple as that. Let me teach you about a chain though. Each chain contains 3 loops. We have 1 here, 1 here, and if we flip this upside down, we have the one in the back that I call the back hump. You can see it on its side. It's this one here. Alright, let's do another one. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and we have another chain. And again, a chain has 3 loops. We have a loop here, a loop there. Flip this upside down or sideways. You can see that third one, the back hump right there. Let's do one more. Yarn over and pull a loop. So now we have 1, 2, 3 chains, and each chain has 3 loops. 1 loop here, 1 loop here. I turn it on its back or its side, and you have 1 loop in the back. Okay. So now it wants you to crochet into the legs. So I'm actually going to, I shouldn't have removed the marker. I want to put back this marker and put it under the last stitch we made. That way, it's such a dark color. I want to make sure I'm able to keep stitch count. This here, you can just tuck that into the leg because we won't be needing that. Okay. And make sure you don't twist your chains. When you look on top, it should be a straight blade. You can see how nice the braid is. You don't want to accidentally have it twisted. So if you look at it on top, it's all bunched and twisted. We don't want that. You want to make sure that when you look on top, it's a nice flat braid. Okay. So we're joining the leg 1, and we're going to do the round one of the body. And so it's going to start with some single crochet stitches. So I'm actually going to go ahead, if I put my stitch marker here, I'm just going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to do my single crochet stitches. Okay, so now I'm going to end up at my stitch marker. I can remove this stitch marker here. Let's move on to the next section. So this is a long one. What I would recommend is just focusing on everything before a comma, just so you're not overwhelmed with all the other stuff. So in the next set of commas, it tells you to do more single crochet stitches in the chain stitches. Now I'm going to show you how to do these. There's 3 of them, and I'm just going to show you a way that I like to do them so that we keep this nice braid. Okay, so we went around, we joined the first leg, and now we're actually back around. So right now we're looking at the back side of these chains. So what I'm going to recommend is put your hook in the back humps. See that? There's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. We're going to use that as our stitches to do our single crochet stitches. So stick your hook into, I'm going to go from I'm going to go from underneath that back hump. That way, if you look in this way, there's 1 loop. When you look on the other way, there's the braid on top. Okay, undisturbed. So now we're going to do our single crochet stitch, and that's 1. Let me show you how to do another one. So into the next chain, we have our braid in the front, hump in the back. We're going to put the hook into the back loop, and we're going to do our single crochet stitch. Make sure that you get all the yarn and that you're not piercing through it. But let's do our single crochet stitch. All right, let me show you how to do one more. So into the back hump from the other side. Also, a trick that you can still do is pull the hook back. If you see that it's clear, you're good to go. Do your single crochet stitch. Okay, so now when we look at this, we have our braid here. We're going to flip this over, and we have our braid on this side as well, intact. So that's why I like to do it that way. All right, and that's actually going to make the next round easy to put stitches in. Okay, I mean not next round, next section here. So now we're into leg 2. How is that? All right, I think let me just do a really quick count, because this part here doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, it doesn't. So when we did the second leg, now I found a problem. Either I'm doing this entirely wrong, but when it tells you to do the second leg, we had to do single crochet stitches. But it didn't tell you how. I just went around in the circle. So I still have the same number of single crochet stitches that we did in leg 2. But from here, it's saying that we're supposed to have 3 more. Or am I just not counting it right? Let me see. Yeah, we're supposed to have 3 more. I don't know where they were trying to fit that in. Okay, so we have a problem. Oh, no, we don't. Okay. It says single crochet stitches to chain. Not to chain. We're doing single crochet stitches on the other side of the chain. I freaked out for a little bit. All right, we're all good. We're all good. Just remove all that for a second. So this is what happens when I try to do these two. I get frustrated myself. Okay, so let's do the single crochet stitches in that comma on like 2. Okay, let's focus on that. I probably should have just focused on that before I started spazzing out. But I'm sure that was fun. Or scary. I don't know. Keep looking at this and it's like, what? All right, then we're going to focus on the next parenthesis, which is more single crochet stitches. I'm just going to remove this now. Let me get more yarn here. So we're good. We do have the amount. It's in the chains. So like I said, it's going to make this side easy to put stitches on because we did preserve those braids very well. So now we can just go into the next stitch and literally use this braid, since we only use the back hump on the other side, and we're just going to complete doing the single crochet stitches across these chains. So I'm sure, click that like button if you knew we were okay. My brain tends to go mushy past 10 o'clock at night. All right, and once we do those 3, I'm just going to put a stitch marker at the last stitch we made. And then, this is so cute, we're going to move on to rounds 2 through 5. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And of course, I'm going to be doing these in silence. It's all, you know, simple single crochet stitches, so we're good to go. Let me read ahead. Okay, we're good to go. All right, I've completed rounds 2 through 5, and we're going to do round 6. So now we're going to introduce a new situation here. We have just the same single crochet stitches that we've been doing. However, we're going to be using the back loops only. So when I showed you how to do the single crochet stitches, I told you that when you're looking directly at its front, you have the front loops here and the back loops here. So the fact that we're only using the back loops only, BLO, we're just going to go into the next stitch using the back loop only. So to do that, you stick your hook in between that braid and just put it through the back loop. So the front loop, as you can see, is still here, left untouched. Okay, so let's do 3 of these. Do your single crochet stitch as normal, as you normally would, and it'll look like this. That's okay. It'll flatten back down once we do more. So back loop only, split the braid, only put the hook through the back loop. Here's the front loop left alone. We're going to do our single crochet stitch, and then one more time, stick your hook into the next stitch, back loop only, split the braid, okay, and then we're going to do our single crochet stitch. So as you do more and more of these, it's going to look something like this. You're going to have a line of loops, and those are the front loops left. So we're just going to go now all the way around and do the rest. You can rewind this part as many times as you need until you feel comfortable doing them. So before we finish the last stitch though, I got to remind myself not to do it because we have to transition to white. And that was quick. Okay, so I'd rather use the white. Why is it having a... Man, hopefully we have enough. Okay. Single crochet stitches, back loop only, all the way around. And again, don't do the last stitch. All right, so before you finish this last one, we're going to transition to white. So take your hook and pull the loop out like we did before into a larger loop, and then set this aside. Pick up your white yarn, and we're going to cast on again with the slip knot. So ring, pinky, and thumb, hold one end, index and middle, hold the other. I'm going to take the crochet hook and lie it perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out, and around so we can slide this up and down. Slide this down towards your thumb. We're going to take our middle finger and just hold it where it crosses so that we can let go of our left hand and gather up some feeder yarn. Then repinch the end as low as you can go without losing it. Then slide your hook further down closer to your thumb, and where it crosses just pinch it so that you can no longer move your hook up or down. we're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull this through the loop. And I'm going to overhand my hook, repinch my end, don't lose it. And I'm going to push this knot towards my thumb. This is going to tighten up the knot. And you want to keep doing that till you can't push it down anymore. Then you can take your thumb and middle finger and just pull out this excess piece a little bit just to make this knot nice and snug. And then we're going to slide the knot close to the hook, or somewhat close to the hook. Okay, and then we're going to slip this off it, set it aside, pick up your project again. We're going to slip our hook back into this large loop. You can make it smaller by pulling on the feeder yarn. Okay, and then we're going to continue our last single crochet stitch. So stick your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. I'm going to take the feeder yarn and hold it back with my ring finger and pinky. Set this aside. Grab the white yarn, slip it on to the hook, gather up some feeder yarn, and then we're going to pull the white through the loops off the hook, transitioning to the white. So just to make sure, I want to see if we're moving or changing back to black. Since we're not, what I'm going to do is cut about 1 inch or so for the black. And then I'm going to tie this twice, not too tight, just enough to secure the knot around the white yarn. And then you can tuck that excess piece inside the body. Gather up some feeder yarn. And move this over onto my little cylinder here. And I'm going to relocate the stitch marker to the last stitch we made. Okay. And then we're going to continue with round 7. So round 7 is just single crochet stitches all the way around. So I'm going to do this in silence, and then we're going to come back to round 8. All right, completed round 7. We're going to do round 8, and we're introducing a new stitch. So we have a set of parentheses that we've already explained about. And this time we're going to be doing decreasing stitches and single crochet stitches the number of times it tells us to. So let me show you how to do a decreasing stitch. So complete opposite of an increasing stitch, a decreasing stitch takes 2 stitches and makes it into 1. So I actually made this first stitch so long. Look at it, it's terrible. Okay, so put your hook into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull up a loop. Then you're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So good thing this is in the white, because now you can see we have 1 stitch here, another stitch here, and we made just 1 stitch out of it. So then you're going to do your single crochet stitches, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the decreasing stitch again. Okay, so stick your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So you have 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. So again, here's 2 stitches, and we only made 1 stitch out of it. All right, do your single crochet stitches. And then I'm going to show you how to do a decreasing stitch one more time. So into the next stitch, put in your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook now. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. 2 stitches into 1. All right, so now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to complete the rest of the round. You can repeat this part of the video as many times as you need until you're comfortable doing a decreasing stitch. And that should be it for that round. I'm going to go on to round 9 and 10 after this. Okay, remove the marker, replace it under the last stitch you made. Make sure you clear it and close it up. We're going to do rounds 9 and 10. I'm still going to get a stitch marker just in case. All right, so for the next 2 rounds, we're going to be doing straight single crochet stitches. So this should be pretty easy. And then we're going to move on to round 11. So we're almost there, you guys. In silence. All right, we completed round 9 and 10. Let's do 11. So we're back to a parenthesis, doing decreasing stitches and single crochet stitches, repeating it the number of times it tells you to. So since we've gone over this part, I'm just going to complete this and move on to round 12. I don't know if I said this before, but when you do your single decreasing stitches, to keep it from stretching, you want to make sure that this loop is not too long. Okay. All right, I'm gonna replace this stitch marker to the last stitch we made. And then for round 12, we're going to do a bunch of single crochet stitches. Crazy it hasn't told me to stuff this thing yet. But I'm going to read ahead after that. I'm going to do the last row in silence. All right, I've completed round 12. And we're going to fasten this off, even though it doesn't say it. If you did part 1 and you gave yourself some yarn here, because I was highly suspect of not having any yarn here, you won't need to do this part. But if you didn't give yourself this long of yarn, then follow the instructions. It says leave a long piece of thread that you use to sew the head. So this is for anyone that hasn't done this on the head. What I like to do is go around the circumference of the opening twice and then cut it. Okay, but for those that did do the length at the head, you just need to cut about 1 inch or so. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and then either length that you have, we're both going to do the same thing of yarning over, pulling through the loop all the way out, pulling on the excess piece to tighten that loop, and then we're done with that. Remove the marker. So this is the cavity that we're going to be working with to put stuffing in. Okay, but moving on, we're going to be now using the black yarn. So I'm going to put this white out of the way. This might be the last time we're using white. I'm not too sure. Okay, and then you're going to grab the white. And we're going to be working in round 6, where the front loops are still untouched. So if you see here, these are the front loops. Okay, we're going to be working with this. So let me show you one more time how to cast on with the slip knot. This will be our 3rd time doing this. Ring, pinky, thumb, index and middle finger, lie your hook perpendicular to the yarn. We're going to go down, out and around, so we can slide our hook up and down. Slide it down towards your thumb, take your middle finger and just hold it where it crosses so that you can let go and gather up some feeder yarn here. Repinch the end as low as you can go without losing it. Slide your hook back down towards your thumb and pinch it where it crosses so you can no longer slide your hook up and down. We're going to yarn over and you're going to pull this through the loop. I'm going to overhand my hook, repinch the end, try not to lose the end there. I'm going to push this knot towards my thumb, making the knot tighter. Keep pushing until you can't push it down any longer. Then you can take your thumb and middle finger and just pull that excess piece a little bit more to make that knot nice and snug, and then slide the knot up to or close to the hook. Okay, so for this next part here, I guess we're going to be making a belt around the body. So what they don't tell you that they did tell you in the Wicked kit, if anybody has done the Wicked kit, we're going to flip the body upside down. So now the legs are pointing up. And then I'm going to go to the back here. I'm going to start with, let me see. I'm going to put my hook right here at the last, no, let's put it here. I want to try to even this out because they do spirals. It's not on the same level as you see here. It's a little, this one's up, this one's down. So second to the last one, I'm going to put the stitch marker to mark my last one. And just for my sake, because I don't want to assume that this one is the first front loop only, or it would be this one essentially. I want to know where I'm going to put my stitch next. So actually, let's put our hook into that first front loop only. You can pretty much pick anywhere, but I'm going to pick the back so we can hide some stuff here. So once you get your hook into that front loop only, we're going to do our first single crochet stitch. Okay, just yarn over, pull up a loop. So we have the 2 loops like we would with the single crochet stitch. Yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. Okay, so let me just count backwards with this. Let me just free up this finger here. So maybe that one that I'm looking for is like, I guess here. Okay. And then we're going to do single crochet stitches all the way around. Okay. So, oddly enough, it just tells you to cut and hide the yarn. I mean, okay. I feel like joining, you know, this thing here. It is a belt, so I don't think it'll hurt. What I'm going to do is go into that, I'm going to connect these two. So I'm going to do a slip stitch. You don't have to do it. I'm just going to do it for myself. Yarn over and pull through everything. Because it's a belt. It's supposed to be continuous. But anyway, it says cut and then hide the yarn. So we just did a little extra detail, which is funny at the same time because it's such a dark color. You're not going to really see that detail so much. But maybe you will. I don't know. So I'm just fastening this off like we always do. But this time now, I'm just going to weave in and out of the stitches from the single crochet stitch we did. I'm going to yarn over with the excess piece and I'm going to pull it through all those stitches, weaving it in and out. So I'm doing multiple stitches at a time. If you are not good with that, then just do one at a time. But I've actually been crocheting something on the side every day now for a few weeks, so I'm kind of used to doing this. Okay. Now that we have that, now it's telling you to stuff the body. So I'm going to do that now. Alright. What's helpful is if you split this up into little pieces. Like I said in the part 1 video, you just want to make sure that everything kind of fits into here. It's easier to do piece by piece than put a huge clump and then you're going to have to deal with it later, and it's going to be harder to manipulate. So just take your time and go piece by piece. So while we're here, I do have to mention that I try to keep these videos down to a couple of hours, and we are nearing that threshold. Man, I really wasn't looking forward to doing a 3-part video because I still have to do Sally, and then we have 4 more items to do. It's rough. Alright. And we still have to do the bow tie. We have to do the tails. Oh, this piece you can just tuck in. And then assemble. So I'm really like thinking maybe I should go over. I might actually go over the 2 hours. Okay, doing this piece by piece, you can control what it looks like. Okay, so I'm pretty much there. And then we're moving on. Maybe I should just, because we have the bow tie, the tail coat, and the tails. We'll see. Oh. Alright, I still have a lot of stuffing left over, so I could make another one if I wanted. Alright, set this aside. Let me take a look at the instructions to see if I can move on. Alright, let's move on to the tailcoat. I think we can get this one done. Or at least this part of it done. Okay, so we're going to use our black here and hoopla hoopla. Alright, so we're going to continue on with the bow tie. This one I think we can complete. What we're going to be doing is using the black yarn, and we're going to do a magic ring. So let's do that right now. I showed you how to do this 3 times already, so go ahead and do that. The next part's going to be a little more intricate than what we've been doing, so I'll be walking through that step by step. Okay, so once we get into our magic ring and slipped everything off the finger, we're going to start our bow tie. So, good luck to us all. I think I got it though. For round 1, we're going to do our chains. So you want to go ahead and do your chains. We've done these already too, so you can go ahead and just work those now. Next, we're going to be looking at second chain from hook. So this is when we're doing rows. We've been doing rounds all this time, even though the instructions have been calling it row, but a round is a round. We're going to be working on a row. So second chain from hook, you're going to count 1 and 2. I'm going to stick the hook in the back hump, like I always like to do. And we're going to do our single crochet stitch. All right. Then I'm going to do the rest of the single crochet stitches that it's asking for. Let's do step by step 2 more of these. So now we're doing this in a row. Stick your hook into the next stitch, back hump, and do your single crochet stitch. One more with you guys. Stick your hook into the next stitch, back hump, single crochet stitch, and then just complete the rest according to the instructions. And then what they have you do is do a slip stitch onto the magic ring. So stick your hook into the magic ring. We're going to do our slip stitch, which is yarning over and pulling through all the loops off your hook. So we completed, this would be row 1. Let's do row 2. We're going to do our chain stitches. Okay, so we have our chains here, and then we're going to count second chain from hook. So 1, 2, and we're going to do our single crochet stitch in the back hump, and we're going to do the remaining single crochet stitches. Right after you complete the single crochet stitches, we have to do another slip stitch. So I'm going to show you this one more time because we've done this twice already. Stick your hook into the magic ring. We're going to yarn over it and pull through all loops off the hook. And then we're going to do round 3. So for round 3, we're going to do another number of chain stitches. All right. And then second chain from hook. This is the last time I'll show you how to do this one. We're counting 1, 2, and sticking our hook into the back hump. And we're just going to complete all our single crochet stitches. And then we're going to do our slip stitch. Okay. All right, then we're going to do the last row here. So we're going to go ahead and make our chains. And then we're going to do our single crochet stitches, second chain from hook. And then a slip stitch into the magic ring. All right, so now we have to fasten the magic ring. So, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. This last bit is confusing, but what I'm going to do is leave a good amount of yarn in case I have to do something with it. And I'm going to fasten off this by yarning over and pulling through all the loops here. I'm not going to pull this super tight. I'm just going to pull it through. It's holding my spot because I still have this magic ring to deal with. I'm going to pull this. I'm going to do the same thing that we did. So pull it to see which loop is going to go first. All right, so this one went in. I'm just going to go ahead now and pull out that lower end so that the other loop can go and disappear into the magic ring. Once that's completely in, then I'm going to take this excess piece and pull on this to make sure this is gone. And then once that's gone, just to make sure that there's no open loops, I'm going to pull in the opposite direction and a little up. And I can feel it pull a little bit. So I have this much left. It says to wrap around the center. So that I can do. I'm going to leave this long length to sew, and I'm going to use this excess piece to wrap around. So it kind of works out. Try to make these wraparounds even so that it looks all right. I'm going to tie this to the tail that we created. Twice. Okay, and then we'll probably need this to sew later. All right. I guess let's start the tail coat because I have still time. Okay. For the tail coat, we're going to use the black yarn. All right, so this little line item of stuff before we start is just teaching you how to do row crocheting with rows. This whole entire time we've been going in rounds, with the exception of these little bow pieces here. I don't know what this is. It's stuck into the yarn. Manufacturing. This time we're going to be working in rows, so I'll just walk you through it. We're going to cast on with a slip knot, and we've done this a bunch of times too, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do this. And you can do that as well. You can pause the video if you need to. All right, so let's make our chains. That was a lot. This is kind of good because it's going to help you practice consistency. I think this one on top here is a little tighter than I was doing it, but can't always be perfect. Okay, so for this first row, we're going to be doing a double crochet stitch. So I'm going to teach you how to do that. And in the set of instructions, it says that every row with double crochet stitches DC start with 2 chains up. So in saying that, we're going to count the 3rd chain from the hook. Okay. So because we need 2 chains for the height. So count 3 chains from the hook. So that's right here. We're going to stick this into the back hump. So let's do a double crochet stitch. Before you stick it into that 3rd chain, we're going to yarn over, and you're going to stick your hook into that back hump 3rd chain from the hook. So now we have 3 loops on our hook here. We're going to yarn over and pull through a loop. We still have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and we have 2 loops left. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So this double crochet stitch is going to count as 1, and this double chain here is going to count as the 2nd one. So I'm going to show you how to do double crochet stitches 2 more times, and then you can complete the rest. So yarn over, we're going to stick our hook into the next stitch, back hump only, and then yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 3. So let's do this one more time with you guys. Yarn over, put your hook into the next stitch, back loop only, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now you should have 4 of these left. You have the 3 and the 2 chain stitches. Let's go ahead now and complete the rest of the double crochet stitches in this row. I already lost count. And I lost count again. All right. So I don't know if the instructions even bothered with this, but I have an extra chain, and I don't know if that was my doing or not. If you're in a situation like this, I would actually just do a decreasing, but it's going to be like a double crochet stitch. So if you're fine and you have one left, and make sure just, oh wait, let me see how much I'm supposed to have. Let me do one more count. Yeah, so I have an extra chain. What I'm going to do is yarn over. I'm going to do kind of like a decreasing stitch. I'm going to stick into the extra chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then I'm going to stick my hook into the next chain, yarn over. I'm going to try to squish this excess piece down so that I can hide it in my stitch. All right, and then I'm going to pull through 3 stitches actually to do my decreasing. So 2 left, and then I'm going to yarn over and pull through those 2. So it's like that extra chain never existed. And it would probably help if I did this one as a double crochet stitch and not a single crochet stitch. All right, just pause for a minute. I'm going to go fix my mistake real quick. You will find that as you do these, you're so used to doing single crochet stitches, you'll accidentally do one. You just have to undo it and then redo it with the right stitch. All right, now I'm caught up with you guys. All right, so now we have our first row. The next row that we're going to do is row 2, and what we have to do is we have to do a turn, and that's why it's talking about it, crochet with a turn. So we're going to turn it. So you basically have this like that. We're going to turn it this way, just I guess counterclockwise. So now we have the row going this way. So now we're reset and we can do this all over again. But what we have to do first, like it says, every row with a double crochet stitch, we do 2 stitches. Well, for round 2, we're doing single now. So we're going to do every row with single crochet stitches with 1 chain. So we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, and that's a chain. There. Okay, and that's going to build the height of the row. So we're going to go now and do the next set of parentheses. So it's a little bit much. We're going to break this down. So let's do our single crochet stitch into the first stitch there. And then we're going to do our chain. And we're going to skip LP. All right. So I had to just double check what LP was, and it's not even in the abbreviations. All right, so we're tanking on this kit. But I figured it out. So for we did the single crochet stitch, we did the chain stitch. What we're going to do at the same time is skip a stitch, okay? And then we're going to repeat this all over again. So skip that stitch. We're going to do a single crochet stitch, then a chain, and we're going to skip that stitch, and we're going to repeat the parenthesis. So one more time with you guys. Skip that stitch. We're going to do a single crochet stitch and a chain, and we're skipping the next stitch. So I showed you how to do this 3 times, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep repeating the parentheses until I get to the end. Wow, that was needlessly difficult. But if they're going to abbreviate, they should probably include it in their abbreviations list. And I don't know if I'm going, I took a glance at the abbreviations list. I think there's stitches on there that we're not even using. So I think it's just a universal, not universal, but like a similar abbreviations list for their kits. So you won't necessarily use all of their stitches in one kit. Let me just make sure that I'm following the rules here. And then we have the last bit of the instruction, which is single crochet stitches. So in case you're wondering for the end, where we have to do a single crochet stitch, those 2 chains, you're going to use the top of the chain to create your last single crochet stitch. Okay. So now we completed round 2. Let's flip this over. So again, counterclockwise, and we're going to do round 3, which is double crochet stitches this time. I'm unraveling my tangled up yarn here. Not a fan. Right, we'll probably have to finish off with the end of this tail coat because we are over now. But again, so we're going to do our 2 chains up to create the height. Now in the assistance, the chains, yeah, I guess they still count as one, except for the single crochet stitch. It's weird because each instruction is different. Let's just count this as 1. So we have to have, either way, we have to end up with the same number of crochet stitches from round 2. So we can do, let's do these 2 chains and count it as 1 double crochet stitch. And I'm going to continue down the line doing all the double crochet stitches. And so what we're doing here with the skipped ones, we're just putting it through the hole. So there's that little gap from the chain space that we did. Just put it through that hole. No worries trying to put it at the top of the stitch. We can just go around the whole thing. But I'll show you that again. We have the single crochet stitch. Now we have that chain space. I'm just going to put it through that hole there. And I'll show you one more time with you guys. So we're going to be putting our hook into that single crochet stitch. And then the next one is going to be the chain. Oops. Yarn over. You're going to see a gap. You just put your hook in that gap. And we're going to crochet around it, around that chain stitch. Alright, so now I'm just going to do the rest. let me do the rest in silence. I just gotta, or let me just pause. I gotta detangle this stinking thing here. Okay. Got that a bit untangled. All right. Then I'm going to turn again, counter. And we're going to do round 4. Round 4 is going to be a bunch of single crochet stitches. So we are going to do a chain, which is going to be the height of the row, and then we're going to do single crochet stitches. Put a single crochet stitch in the same stitch as that chain 1. It's different with single crochet stitches than what we did for the double crochet, because that one chain is so small that if we counted that as a single crochet stitch, it would be really difficult to put your hook in there to do a double crochet stitch on top of it. So when we chain 1 in these rows for a single crochet stitch, that's pretty much just to make the height so that we get this nice perfect, see, rectangle corner shape here. But when we do the double crochet stitches, those chain 2s, it's so tall enough that we can use it as one double crochet stitch. So I hope that makes any sense. And when you work with other crochet booklets, they'll tell you that. They'll tell you that the 2 chains is going to count as one double crochet stitch. Sometimes it will tell you that that chain 1 could be a single crochet stitch, but I never really have seen that so much yet in any of these kits. So and then again, when you hit that 2 chain for that 2 chain stitch, you can just put your hook through the top stitch, I guess, of that chain and complete your single crochet stitch. Alright, so now we're going to turn again, and then we're going to do round 5, which is the double crochet stitch, and that means we're going to chain 2. It's going to count as your double crochet stitch, and then we're just going to continue doing the rest of the double crochet stitches. So I have one more left to do, and I just wanted to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the single crochet stitch that we put in the same stitch as the chain one. See how small that chain one is? So if we move down with the chain one into this and then single crochet stitch in the next stitch, we'd still be working with the same size of chain, and it's really difficult to get your hook in there. So that's why after chain one, we do put the single crochet stitch in that same stitch, because this single crochet stitch is easier to put your hook into. So I hope, double crochet stitch. So I hope that clarifies any confusion as to why we do it differently for a single crochet stitch. And it doesn't really explain that in here. Okay. All right, and this time it tells you how long of a thread you'll need, which is great, because I honestly don't know how we're attaching this on to the body. So what I'm going to do here is measure out the length. I have a tape measure here. You can use a ruler. All right. So I measured out the length, and we're going to cut this. And then we're going to fasten this off. Just pull on this. And then we're going to work on the tails, but that's going to be in part 3 because we're already over by several minutes now. So hopefully I have enough black yarn, because we still have the tails to go, but then the assembly, so part 3 might be pretty short. Alright, you guys, so comment below, let me know how it went. I know I make these videos to help you out, but I honestly feel good that I went through this part as well as this part, because this one was a doozy. I almost didn't know what the heck they wanted to do, but here are our body pieces for our Jack Skellington. Okay, let me know how it's going. Let me know if you need any help with anything. I've got to do way more kits than I wasn't expecting a part 3, but we're going to try to work it out. It might fall, all 4 kits that I have to do after this will fall either before or after Christmas. It is what it is. There's just so much that, you know, we have to do. Alright, so thank you so much for watching, you guys. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.